Okay, I was put onto this book, and in order to do this correctly, I was like, I'm gonna need some kind of background audio because this just seems more epic um, than we've seen in a while. And there's a book that was launched. It was mentioned. I've seen a couple podcasts mention this. I've seen it come across certain comic book news feed, and that book is Rook Exodus. And I actually bought. So I was like, you know what? Let me just buy it digitally. Let me figure out what it's about. I'm definitely getting ready to buy the physical copies of this because this book is good. Rook Exodus is, I mean, as you can see, the art. Let's just start there. So this book was done by Jeff Johns. Let me go back. Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, Brad Anderson, and Rob Lay. Very good art. The way the colors are set out, the lines, the way everything is drawn. This book has some great detail, more detail than you find in many comic books. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, I wasn't expecting to enjoy this book this much. I bought the first four. I didn't buy the fifth one. I don't know if the fifth one is out yet, but I got the first four, and I just read this one, and oh man, I was not prepared for the ride I would go down. I mean, just look at some of these panels. These things are incredible when you see the detail in this art, like the way it's laid out. It seems like an epic tale, which is again why I said I gotta have some audio behind this. It follows this character right here, Rook. The premise of the story is something is going on with Earth. I'm not gonna show all of the panels. I'm not gonna there's gonna be some spoilers in here, but I'm not gonna go through the entire book. Although I may get to a point where I do exactly that. I go through the entire book. So we'll see how that pans out. But something is going on with Earth, and people are going to this other planet that's being terraformed. Well, something goes wrong with the world engine that's terraforming this planet. The people who initially came to the planet, they leave, and they leave the wardens who were had the oversight for taking care of the planet, so to speak, are left there. And Rook is one of these people. And they have on these helmets. Now, again, I just read this book. I don't have all of the details written down and memorized, but they have on these helmets, and these helmets give them control over certain animals. Like Rook can control these birds, these crows. I believe they're crows. And there's another guy, I'm struggling to remember his name. He can control the hogs. And because the world engine has failed, water is drying up, animals are getting much bigger than they originally were, and this enters you in an epic tale. So the book opens up to there are people who are crafting, fixing craft and trying to get off world. And of course, as you can imagine, there's all kind of problems. These things explode, they're destroyed, people die. Some people make it off, some people don't. And it opens up to Rook watching this thing explode and crash to the ground. Now, obviously, resources are sparse, so he's gonna go try to grab some resources. From what I gather reading the book, he's trying to get off world, trying to get back home. And the way everything is set up, even this opening scene, you see the crows, and at this moment you don't understand that he has some I guess it's like a psychic connection to the crows, and you begin to see that as he goes to investigate this craft that has now crashed. So, as you could see, I'm not going to read all of the dialogue. I might read some, but you see him surveying this area. He's trying to see what's going on, seeing, okay, what can I scavenge? And he calls his buddy who's supposed to come help him, and that doesn't necessarily pan out. Look, man, these panels right here, and you see him, I don't know, you probably can't see it down there. He says, I am Rook. That's who his name is. This is everything you expect from a superhero. I guess not really a superhero, but just a comic book in general, right? Like, this is the main character, and it is epic. Like I said, the story feels so much bigger. It feels massive, and the way they did the colors, the colors themselves are like another character, right? Like, it adds to what you see going on, and I love it. I really love it. So he comes up on this guy who is dying, and he's gonna try to help him, and the dude is pretty much telling him, nah, I'm good, and he hands him something. Now, I don't know exactly what he was handed. Like I said, I gotta read this book again. Sometimes I'll read through a book, and I read through to gauge my enjoyment, and I don't necessarily catch all the details right out the back, and then I have to come back, take some notes, catch some details. Definitely gonna have to do that with this book. You see the way the panels are laid out. They're very, it's not spastic. There's some comic panels I've seen that are so chaotic you almost can't follow the flow of the book. This book is done very, very well. And then you see this bear comes up on Rook. You see the size of the bear versus Rook. Again, this thing splashes. You see this page and it's like, yo, this is massive. This is like something crazy is going on. This is a book that's worthwhile. This is the type of book that sets off something that extends well beyond the initial creation, and I think that actually is going to happen with Rook Exodus. I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I do, and I really, really enjoy this book. It was a fun read. It's not, again, like I said, it's not the traditional superhero comic book. It's, I guess you could say, heroes in a way, but there's not really a hero story, so to speak, even though Rook, as you kind of hear, get some of his backstory. He is heroic in his own right. But this is a dystopian future story on another planet where everything goes wrong. And I'm telling you, I like it. He drinks in the book. He drinks a lot to escape, I guess, his connection with these crows via whatever technology is in this helmet. It kind of haunts his mind, and he needs a way to escape that. And in order to escape that, he drinks. So he's going through this city that he lives in that's now been abandoned. At one point, there was, I believe he said, 800,000 people on this planet. Or in this city, I believe. And now it's just him. Like I said, some of the details are fuzzy because I read through it and I was just so excited as I was reading through. I wasn't taking notes or anything. And I just thought to myself, man, this book right here needs to get more notice. If you have not read Rook Exodus, if you are on the fence about reading Rook Exodus, you can jump off the fence. Go pick this book up. This book is worth reading. Not only is this book worth reading, this is a book that I think it's going to be one of those books that generates a buzz, like I said, that extends beyond the book. Kind of how Walking Dead came out and it just exploded. I think it's a possibility for this book to do the same thing, if not be even bigger. It's just enjoyable. And this art, I mean, I cannot say enough about this art, and the details that are captured are so mind-boggling. I can't imagine how long it took to draw this out and how long it took to ink this and to color this. however long it took, man, it was worth it. I hope that this level of quality is maintained through the history of this book. Worth the read. If you have not checked out Rook Exodus, this is a book you want to go buy. Do not hesitate. Do not even think about it. Go check this out.